Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Positive Proof Podcast. I'm your host, Parmis Najmi, and I'm so glad that you're here. If you want to listen to more episodes like this one on self-improvement, mindset, and wellness, go ahead and hit that follow button to join the family. Before I get into today's episode, I just want to ask you guys for a quick and kind favor, and that is if you haven't yet left a review, I would absolutely appreciate if you could do so. It helps so much to build this podcast and help it grow so that we can increase the positive impact we make and just overall make it a bigger community. Also, if you are looking for daily motivation, follow me on Instagram at Positive Proof Podcast, where I post behind the scenes content and daily quotes that serve as sweet daily reminders. I know it's been a couple weeks since I posted, and it's because I've been very sick, but I'm really glad to be back and posting, so make sure to check me out on there as well. And if anyone's wondering how to leave episode requests, you can actually send me your thoughts via the DM me your thoughts link in the description or via Instagram DM as well. Now, lately I've been haunted by one question that refuses to stay quiet, and that is, what is the healthiest, happiest, highest output version of me actually do? Like every single day. I'm talking about the version who wakes up before the alarm, skin calm and glowing, hair somehow glossier overnight, brain already sparking ideas before Slack even loads, all of it. Because over the years, I have managed to have a very steady glow up, but the past couple of months, I've been craving more. I feel like I can do better. And isn't that what it's all about? To always strive to be better? Of course, I'm not perfect, and I don't think there is a real definition of what perfect actually is, because there's also the aspect that wants and needs change. So my idea of a glow up now probably looks different than what I thought was a glow up years ago in my early 20s. And that's the beauty of life. I think as we grow older, there is a shift to glow from inside out. For example, if you have shiny hair or glass skin, it's because the focus was on consuming the right nutrients instead of getting this hair gloss or that skincare routine. And although the skincare routine and the hair gloss are bonuses, which we will also be talking about today, I want to remind you that every glow up looks different. But the best way to go about a glow up is to really focus on the feeling aspect of things, because when you do, it will always show itself on the outside as well and translate into the beauty that we all want. So I've been asking myself, what if the answer isn't another productivity hack or a miracle serum, but a blueprint that blends both, the inner work and the outward habits, into a life that actually feels good? That's the blueprint I'm about to share with you today. A system that lets me juggle a flexible 9-to-5, build a security startup from scratch, nurture a creator brand, and protect my hormone health, and keep my $2 million vision more than just a Canva mock-up on my wall. Just imagine waking up with clear skin, fuller hair, quiet mind, and steady energy before caffeine touches your lips. No blood sugar crashes, no frantic refresh cycle, no I'll do yoga later fibs. So grab your iced matcha, oat milk, extra cinnamon if you're fancy, pull up a notes pad, and let's dive into how we can glow and grow together one intentional day at a time. Let's start with the why. Here's why I rebuilt my life around minimum effective dose, maximum consistency, and the mantra that systems beat willpower every single time. The minimum effective dose idea came from noticing that most of my failures weren't because the plan was wrong. They happened because the plan demanded Olympic level effort on a random Tuesday when I barely had the energy to wash my hair. The goal isn't to bench press your body weight on day one. It's to choose the smallest action that still moves the needle. 10 push-ups on the living room floor, or a 5-minute box breathing reset, 1 liter of water before noon, and then repeat it so relentlessly that it becomes background noise. Tiny wins compounded daily do more for your hormones, waistlines, and sanity than any heroic but inconsistent sprint ever could. Even micro habits crumble if they rely on raw willpower. Willpower is fragile. It evaporates after a bad night's sleep, a passive-aggressive email, or a surprise meeting that hijacks your afternoon. Whereas systems, the invisible scaffolding of cues, triggers, and environments, keep you moving when motivation goes to you. I schedule all filming between 11 and 1 because that's when the daylight is kind to my skin. I plan for the week on Sunday, so Tuesday Parmis can't make excuses. As James Clear perfectly puts it, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Because goals are the North Star, but systems are the GPS that recalculates after every wrong turn. So think of today's episode as your system starter pack. We're not chasing aesthetic perfection or 6-figure weeks overnight. We're engineering an ecosystem where the healthy choice is the default and the glow up becomes inevitable. And by the end, you'll have plug and play routines like nutrition, workouts, productivity, blocks, stress resets, ready to slide into your calendar without requiring superhuman grit. Let's build the autopilot that flies you straight toward that vision board life. Now let's break down what I call my daily non-negotiables. 6 habit appointments that get inked into the calendar with the same respect as a client call. First up is sleep. Nothing sexy here, just a 7.5 to 9 hours in a pitch black, cool room with my phone in exile by 9:30 p.m. I treat that curfew like an international flight gate close. Miss it and the whole next day's itinerary gets delayed. Hormones, mood, productivity, all of it. And this is my biggest struggle and my biggest enemy because with my level of workload, it always seems impossible to achieve. But listen, it's the goal to keep it under control. Next is hydration. I have 2 1-liter bottles a day, each with a pinch of sea salt and a squeeze of lime. This makes it so much more refreshing, so much more hydrating, and so much more fun. So I highly recommend you make it flavored. 1 liter disappears before noon and the second before dinner. And electrolytes give the water a stickier finish, so there's no more running to the bathroom every 20 minutes. And my afternoon energy feels less like a roller coaster and more like a steady moving sidewalk. Then we have protein. Protein is appointment number 3. I don't like to have a specific number in mind because then it becomes a chore, but I just choose to prioritize it as best as I can. Do I opt for bread and butter sometimes? Of course, it's my favorite. But the goal is that 80% of the time, I'm having a good amount of protein to sustain my health and secondary goals such as hair, skin, nails, body, you name it. Now, my current obsession is turning plain Greek yogurt into a faux cheesecake bowl. I stir in collagen, top with frozen berries, and drizzle some almond butter and honey, and it tastes like dessert, and it hits the muscle recovery macro without the blood sugar spike, so it works out perfectly. For our 4th slot, we have movement. I aim for 10,000 steps a day in a strength session, but the real trick is walking every time I'm on a call. Headphones on, phone in my pocket, and suddenly internal catch-ups double up as cardio. By the time I hit the gym for my glute-centric lift, my step count is already halfway there, sometimes even more than halfway there. I always walk while I'm talking. The 5th non-negotiable is sunlight. Toronto winter or not, I'm outside or by a window within 60 minutes of waking. And what that does is that light cue tells my circadian rhythm that morning is here. It locks in cortisol at the right hour and makes the 9 p.m. yawn arrive exactly on schedule. Finally, we have stress reset. Even on chaos days, I carve out 5 minutes for box breathing. I set Insight timer to a gentle bell, inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4, and then repeat. It's the cheapest cortisol modulator on the planet and snaps me back into executive function mode faster than any espresso shot ever could. If you want an extra boost for your stress reset, you can also try ashwagandha. It is very effective. Now string these 6 appointments together and you have built an all-day conveyor belt that moves you almost automatically toward clearer skin, steadier energy, and a brain that stays in gear from dawn to lights out. Now, if there's one arena where the internet loves to overcomplicate things, it's hormone balancing diets. So let's strip it back to 4 levers that actually move the endocrine needle. No moon charge seed cycling required. Lever 1 is my 30 plants a week game. Gut diversity is the back office that processes estrogen, cortisol, and even thyroid hormones. And the quickest way to feed that diversity is variety. So take a neon sticky note on your fridge with 30 empty squares. Every new fruit, vegetable, herb, nut, or seed gets a tick. And by Sunday night, the grid looks like a confetti. And your microbiome is basically throwing me a thank you party. So try it out and see how good you feel. Or you can offer an organic greens powder if your life is as hectic as mine. Then we have lever 2, omega-3s. This is everything to me. Think of them as the anti-inflammatory bouncers at the hormone nightclub, keeping cortisol tantrums, period cramps, and dull skin outside the velvet rope. A lazy girl hack is sardine toast. Mash a tin of boneless sardines with lemon, Dijon, and a pinch of chili. Spread it over toasted rye, top with cucumber ribbons. It is chef's kiss. You can also chase it with mint tea for 0 fishy burps, and I promise it works. But I love it because it also regulates my appetite, and I swear, after a couple of days, you will notice such a big difference in your skin and brain clarity. You're gonna have glass skin, okay? Trust me. Then we have Lever 3. Lever 3 is a supplement trio that covers the gaps Toronto living loves to create. If you're from a similar city with cold climate, I know you can relate here too, but vitamin D3 with K2 replaces the sunlight we lose November through April, and it keeps your mood and progesterone happy. Then we got collagen peptides. It stirs invisibly into my morning matcha or coffee. I absolutely love this, and it has an extra 10 grams of protein. And then lastly is magnesium glycinate. This is my bedtime loyalist. It chills the nervous system so effectively, and it helps me sleep so well. And if I'm not doing a supplement, I'll do the magnesium spray on the bottoms of my feet, which works just as well. Finally, Lever 4, blood sugar choreography. A steady glucose line means no insulin spikes, which means fewer androgen surges wrecking your skin or midsection. I start every single day with a protein-first breakfast. Usually 3 eggs on its own or with bread and butter, depending on how hungry I am. If you hate eggs, try seasoning them with lemon pepper and thank me later. I used to be a little icky when it came to eggs, but the lemon pepper just completely changes the game. I love it. After that, you're going to take 10 minutes around the block so that you can come back to your desk less foggy and oddly optimistic. Now, stack these 4 levers and you're not just eating clean, you're running a biochemical symphony that keeps cortisol, insulin, estrogen, and thyroid hormones in tune so the rest of your glow up plan can actually shine. Now let's talk skin and hair, the 2 billboards that rat you out when stress, sugar crashes, or product FOMO creeps in. My morning skincare ritual is a multi-step sequence starting with a gentle gel cleanser that respects my skin barrier. Strip that barrier, and every serum you buy is basically throwing money down the drain, so be wary of that. And while my face is still slightly damp, I'll do a hydrating toner followed by a vitamin C serum. Think of it as a daily insurance policy against free radical drama and dullness. This is really going to brighten your skin. Next comes a ceramide-rich moisturizer that locks in hydration without the greasy noon shine. Ceramides are everything for your skin. They protect your skin, they keep it nice and thick, they keep it nice and healthy. So look out for ceramides in the ingredients when you're buying a moisturizer. And then I seal the deal with a broad spectrum SPF 50 rain or shine because Toronto's cloud cover does not block UVA aging rays. So always wear your sunscreen. Nighttime is where the heavy lifters usually clock in. I double cleanse, even if I'm only wearing sunscreen. So to start, an oil to melt the sunscreen and sebum, followed by the same gentle gel to whisk away the residue. Then we do 10 minutes of red light therapy to kick the collagen into overdrive, and it really calms inflammation. It's perfect for redness and acne, irritation, pores, etc. It's my favorite thing to do in the evening. It feels so good. Then I glide a 0.05% retinoid or tretinoin, whichever is fine. I personally rotate between them throughout the year, but the 0.05 is powerful enough for a collagen boost and acne control, yet forgiving on sensitive skin, which my skin is so sensitive. And then I top it off with a hydrating toner, a thick barrier cream, and maybe a collagen mask if I'm feeling like I need the extra hydration. This will really help my skin rebuild while I sleep. Now, hair gets its own spa moment on Sunday Netflix nights. I part my scalp into sections, run a 0.5 millimeter microneedle roller across the surface. The microchannels help any oils or serums sink so much deeper, and according to small studies, it can actually rival minoxidil for boosting density. And then I'll massage in a warmed rosemary mint oil blend for an hour and proceed to my usual washing routine, which is just double wash and then hair mask. And if you're new to all this, here's the hill that I'll die on. Don't buy a haul. Master one product per month and then track how your skin or scalp responds. Then layer in the next. Your face, your hair, and your wallet will thank you. Okay, we've nourished body and barrier. Now let's engineer the part of the day that actually pays the bills and funds that collagen habit: focused work. 90% of the I'm so busy panic I hear from friends isn't a volume problem, it's actually a friction problem. They're context switching 53 times between Slack pings, TikTok drafts, and that half-written Notion doc, then blaming a lack of discipline when the brain rebels. So here's the blueprint that lets me keep a flexible remote job, shoot daylight-dependent content, and run a business and still have a life that feels like mine. First up is the 2-window rule. At any moment, you should only allow 2 windows open: the workbench and the reference. Workbench is whatever you're actively building, like the Google Doc, the Premiere timeline, Notion page, and then the reference is the single site or doc you need for lookup, like brand guidelines, analytics, whatever it may be. Anything else, like email, social, Spotify, gets parked behind a virtual velvet rope called freedom or self-control. You can search it up and get familiar with it yourself, but when you reduce digital clutter, your brain's RAM can sprint instead of jog. Number 2 is time box trifecta. You're going to forget the 12-hour marathon. I run my weekdays on 3 distinct blocks. Number 1 is the deep work block. This is from 8 to 11 a.m. Noise canceling headphones are on, phone in airplane mode, caffeine is peaking. This is where strategy decks, scripting, or analytics dives happen. The rule is no reactive tasks before noon. If Slack is on fire, it can simmer. Then we have block number 2, which is the collab block. This is from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. The light is chef's kiss, perfect for filming reels. Zoom is awake and my social battery is still full. So all meetings, recordings, or brainstorms land here. It aligns with my circadian cortisol, so I sound awake instead of monotone. Finally, we have the third block, which is the admin and reset block. This is from 3 to 5 p.m. Inbox, scheduling, thumbnail tweaks, blog posts, anything low creativity but still essential, I put here. I'll also sometimes pair it with a walk and talk phone catch-up to harvest extra steps, but by 5 p.m., the brain is smooth landing and not crash landing. Now, what if you're running late? Because this happens to me a lot. Well, I never steal from deep work real estate. I borrow from Netflix real estate. Future me is always happier with that trade anyways, so keep that in mind. Now, rule number 3 is batch the energy, not just the task. Traditional batching says film all content Tuesday. I, on the other hand, zoom out one more layer. Batch by energy state. High verbal days, like peak estrogen about a week before ovulation, get podcast recordings and sales calls. Low verbal luteal days gets editing, Canva, and bookkeeping. Low verbal luteal days gets editing, Canva, and bookkeeping. Work that needs precision more than charisma. Syncing with your cycle, or for guys, your natural weekly testosterone arcs, turns biology into a co-worker instead of a saboteur. Then we have rule number 4, which is digital guardrails that enforce the plan. For example, calendar blocking with true start and hard stops. If a task doesn't fit, it gets resized or kicked to next week, no phantom to-do list. Or another example, inbox zero by design, not by obsession. You can create labels to organize your inbox better so that emails are under control and don't go unread and pile up later. Or lastly, a notification curfew. Once I'm done my work, I'll put my phone in Do Not Disturb, and from then on, only parents, boyfriend, and best friend slip through. Work can wait. Hormones, on the other hand, can't. Unless I personally choose to get a little extra work in, that's fine, but on an average day, that's the plan, to set a notification curfew. Finally, rule number 5 is mini recovery loops. High output isn't endless sprinting. It's strategic oscillation. Every 90 minutes, I stand, shoulder roll, hydrate, stretch, or pace around the house to get some steps in if the vibe is sleepy. 5 of those micro breaks equal 1 extra REM cycle worth of cognitive clarity. Translation, you finish the day with brain power left for dinner conversation. Now, let's put it all together. When your calendar is a choreography and not a crime scene, the glow up moves from someday to scheduled. Clear blocks protect creativity and guardrails protect sanity. Recovery loops protect hormones. Suddenly, that $2 million vision isn't a fairy-light dream board. It's a math equation of repeatable hours executed on loop. Now let's zoom out from calorie counts and Pomodoro timers for a second and talk vision, literally. When it comes to your vision board, there's a few rules for people who are new to it. Rule 1 is the 3 image minimum. Fewer than 3 and your brain can't triangulate a story. More than 12 and the message blurs into Pinterest static. Rule number 2, the neutral palette. Creams, sage, soft grays, tones that keep your nervous system in a rest and digest instead of a dopamine scroll chaos. The color pop comes from your life in motion moments, not the background swatches. Rule number 3, set the board where your eyes land first thing. Phone lock screen, laptop, desktop, or taped to the inside of the wardrobe you open for gym leggings. Those 2-second micro glances stack up to hours of subconscious priming each week. And when you stitch your board together, ask, does every tile pull me forward or at least anchor me where I stand? If the answer is yes, Congratulations, you've turned a collage into a compass. Now I want you to put all of this goodness into motion today and not someday. So I've baked a 5-day micro challenge that feels totally doable. Each day locks in one habit that we talked about. So by the end of the work week, you're already living the blueprint, not just bookmarking it. Day number 1 is the digital sunset. So tonight, the phone goes in a drawer at 9:30 p.m. No one more real loopholes. Set a literal alarm called offline equals glow time and stash the device somewhere slightly inconvenient and watch how quickly your brain starts winding down when blue light and doom scroll aren't invited to the slumber party. Personally, this is really easy for me because I do my everything showers at night along with my red light therapy. So my phone is already gone and I'm even doing my bedroom refresh. So I never feel bored. I'm always doing something while my phone is stashed away. Then day number 2 is hydration win. Tomorrow morning, crush 1 full liter of water, pinch of sea salt, squeeze of lime before the clock hits 10 a.m. You are going to feel your skin plump up, you're going to feel your focus sharpen, and your caffeine craving, it's going to chill the heck out. Post a pic of that tall bottle on stories and tag me so I can cheer you on. Then day number 3 is the 30 plants kickoff. Grab a sticky note, draw the 30 empty squares, slap it on the fridge, and start taking off different plant foods as you eat them. Berries, basil, broccoli, they all count. And trust me, this becomes so much more fun when you're doing the physical tick. So make sure you do that. We want to turn your gut into the VIP section for hormone harmony. Then on day number 4, sunrise walk selfie. Set your alarm 30 minutes earlier, throw on a hoodie, and get outside within an hour of waking. This is one of my favorite things to do, and I started it once the warmer weather rolled around here in Toronto, but just take it all in. Capture that first light glow, squinty eyes, messy bun, whatever. Post a sunrise walk selfie if you have to. Trust me, your circadian rhythm will send you a thank you note in the form of better sleep tonight. Then on day number 5, you're going to have your vision in sight. End the week by sharing your progress with others and reevaluate or adjust as necessary. Declaring your goals in public is rocket fuel for accountability, and you'll inspire someone else who's ready to start as well. If you complete all 5, you've proven the hardest part. Showing up. Now, to wrap things up, I want to remind you that transformation isn't a lightning bolt epiphany, but the quiet rhythm of friction-free habits that feel inevitable once they're slotted into place. The biggest aha is the potency of minimum effective dose paired with maximum consistency. Sleep, for instance, stops being an abstract 8-hour wish and becomes a concrete system. Lights out by 11 p.m., blackout curtains drawn, phone placed in another room, so deep sleep cycles and morning cortisol align on autopilot. Hydration shifts from drink more water to 2 1-liter bottles mixed with sea salt and lime waiting on your desk before breakfast. Protein targets become one non-negotiable anchor per meal, like Greek yogurt bowls at dawn, lentil quinoa salads at lunch, salmon with roast veggies at dinner, so blood sugar stays level and hair density has raw material to work with. We also saw that environment beats willpower every time. Shoes placed at the bedroom door shorten the gap between intention and a 7 a.m. lift. Filming gear stored near the brightest window guarantees batch content before the workday crowds your schedule, and even stress management benefits from microengineering. A 5-minute box breathing timer pinned to your phone's home screen converts vague mindfulness goals into a reliable cortisol dial down. Finally, the vision board isn't just decor. It's a neurological cheat code. Place it where your eyes naturally land so it turns each glance into subconscious rehearsal. Those 2-second flashes compound into a bias toward choices that defend the vision, like choosing stairs over elevators, matcha over soda, focus deep work over endless tab switching, you name it. And as you close this episode, pick the single habit with the highest leverage for your current bottleneck. Maybe it's strict digital sunsets. Maybe it's a sunrise walk. And install one environmental cue tonight. Layer another next week. Allow compound interest to work in biology the same way it works in finance. And watch clarity, energy, and genuine glow follow as a predictable side effect, not a lucky accident. Thank you all so much for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you made it this far, I appreciate you so, so much. And I can't wait to chat with you again in next week's episode. Lots of love, Parmis.